Denmark, how are you?
Good afternoon, ma. I'm fine. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. Good, good. Okay,
Mm,
today I forgot to send the PPT to you. So today evening I'll
it's,
send it, right? Okay.
it's
So
okay. It's okay.
I think almost all the PPTs I've sent. Today is the last one. So let me just 1 minute. हाँ सुनो तुम लोग ना तुमको सब बोलना कंप्यूटर लैब में चले जाने के लिए मैं मेरा काम में थोड़ा बिजी रह रही हूँ ठीक है बोल देना So, Denmark, is it visible, the PPT?
Yes, ma.
Okay. A very good morning to all the learners. Today, I'll be focusing on these following units, which includes the religion of India, then tourism policy and planning, infrastructure development, local bodies, officials, and tourism, development dependency and Manila Declaration, then economic impact, social, political, and environmental impact, threats and obstacles to tourism. So that was all about this, it includes, I mean, block 8 and block 9. These are the units which needs to be covered. So today from unit 28 to 35, I'll be covering. So, yes, now talking about the religions of India, like India is a diverse country, with a population of 133 crores, the largest populous country of the world, and thus you can say like it has. I mean, it's a diverse country with several religions practiced by the its population, and the main religions include Hinduism, then Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, and Jainism. And and see, as these communities regularly interact with each other, so some unique social institutions, customs, and practice have emerged. Yesterday, I mean 2 days ago, I was showing you. Yesterday only, I was showing you about the festival that is being celebrated in India. So it's not like only the Hindus are celebrating. Even the Sikhs, even the Christians, they also participate in all these celebrations. Okay, so rituals, we have different. Each religion has different rituals and different festivals. Then they have different dress, lifestyle. have common features to some extent in most of the regions. See, now Christmas is coming. So Christmas is on 25th December, and it is being celebrated by the Christian community, but it is being widely celebrated by all the religions of the country. Okay, so that is how it will be also celebrating Christmas. So, yes, coming to Hinduism, Hinduism is the largest religion in India, and with the majority of the population, they are being identified as Hindus, and it's a major cultural as well as religious influence in the country, with a lot of temples and pilgrimage sites spread across the country. In fact, I've shown you the videos also. There are a lot of temples, especially the temples are known for their architects. So you can say, like, it is also Hinduism is one of the oldest belief systems of the world, and there are two epics that has been based on Hinduism, that is Ramayana as well as Mahabharata, and also the Bhagavad Gita is also there. Okay, and Hinduism as a religion, it is the world's third largest religion, around 1.2 to 1.3 billion followers, or you can say about 15 to 16% of the global population known as Hindus. There are some, these are, four tenets of Hinduism, that is Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Plus, see, you could see the pictures, the photos I have there, the photos are there, which is showing celebrating Lord Ganesha, that is known as Ganesh Chaturthi. It takes place in the month of September. Plus Durga Puja, that is also being celebrated by the Hindus. Now, coming to the Islamic religion, like, Islam, you can say it is the second largest religion in India, uh, with a significant Muslim population, and especially like states where you'll find maximum Muslims is in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Then you have Uttar Pradesh, followed by West Bengal. And India has a rich Islamic heritage with the historical monuments such as shown you the Taj Mahal, that is the one of the seven wonders of the world located in Uttar Pradesh. Then we have the Jama Masjid located in New Delhi, capital city of the country. Beside, there are also forts and palaces that is being built by the Mughal dynasty, Mughal emperors and kings. So, and the thing is, you all know the Quran is the holy book of Muslims, and they fast for 1 month, that is Ramzan, that is also being celebrated. It's not only that the Muslims also say, we get there's a public holiday on that day declared by the country on and on I mean on Eidul. Then every Muslim must pay visit to Kaaba in Mecca to perform Hajj at least once in their lifetime. And Islam is one of also the largest religions in Nigeria, and the country has the largest Muslim population in West Africa. In 2023, the CA World Fact Book estimated that 70% of Nigeria's population is Muslim. So, that is about Islam. Now, coming to Buddhism. Buddhism has its role in India with important historical sites such as Bodh Gaya. Then we have where it's believed that Buddha attained enlightenment in Bodh Gaya. And while the majority of Buddhists in India are found in the northern part of the country and the eastern part of country, the religion has followers all across the country also. And yes, Buddha, like Lord Buddha suggested eightfold path, right? Those eightfold paths include the right views, right intentions, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration to put an end to desires. And Buddhism divides its followers into specially two categories, as ordinary followers and the monk mendicant members. Okay, and especially the monk members, they have to forsake their family, occupation, as well as the society to lead a solitary life. Now, there comes the Jainism. Jainism is another ancient religion that has a very notable presence in our country, India. And the state of Rajasthan has a significant Jain population, and there are several Jain temples also and pilgrimage sites in the country. Now, according to the Jain philosophy, there are 24 great circles of time, And the main teachings of Jainism are non-injury to any living being, not to speak untruth, not to take what is not given, not to be attached to worldly possessions, and chastity. And the followers of Jainism are categorized into two: the ordinary followers and the monks, like the Buddhism only. Then comes the Christianity. So, Christianity has a long history in India with communities dating back to ancient times, and especially the states in India. We have this Kerala, Goa, and Nagaland. They have very significant Christian populations, and there are various churches and religious institutions throughout the country. Now, see, like it is also been considered as a very divine religion, and all of you are aware of that. That the holy book of Christianity is called Bible, and according to Christian faith, God is one, but has revealed Himself as three persons: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And according to Christian, nobody is considered a born Christian. One has to enter into the faith through a religious ceremony called baptism. Okay, and yes, like they also have Christians in India. They also have two major denominations. That is the Catholic, Protestants, and the Catholics. Okay, so see, this is like I have already there's a I'm in this pictorial. This is with my parents, my father and my mother, my mommy and my daddy. Okay, so we are celebrating. We went to the this is last year only, in the year 2022. We all together went to the church. Okay, so birth of Jesus Christ. So all the churches are being celebrated, all the churches are being lighted, and they are we have lot of fairs and exhibitions at those places also, and it is being light up with a lot of Christmas gifts as well as lights and all. Okay, so we also celebrate Christianity. In the sense, we go to the churches, we visit the cathedrals and all. So here in India, it's not like that I am Hindu, I'll be celebrating only Hindu festival. It is not like. We also celebrate Christian. Christmas. We also celebrate Eid and all. We have lot of friends who are Muslims. So they call us during this festival. We have also friends of Christian community. They make cakes and they give it to us. So that gives on exchanging of sweets and gifts keeps on going. So there comes the Sikhism. Sikhism has developed, you can say, developed as a religion. Gradually over a period of around 200 years, and especially it originated in the Punjab region of India and has large followers, and especially in the state of Punjab. And this also, I have shown you the Golden Temple, that is located in Amritsar in Punjab. So this Golden Temple in Amritsar is a major Sikh pilgrimage site, and it is a symbol of religion's importance in India. And Guru Nanak Dev is considered the founder and the first guru of Sikhism. And the place where they, like Hindus, the place of worship is called temples. For Muslims, it is for Christians, it is church, and for the Muslims, it is mosque. For the Sikhs, it is Gurudwara. It's known as the place of their worship is called Gurudwara. And they also have a common kitchen, which is also known as langar, which serves food and prasad to the devotees and visitors. Yesterday, I showed you a video where you could see, this golden temple of Amritsar, and they were serving food to the devotees and the visitors. So this food is known as langar. It is very popular, very famous. Now it is a very this is a very interesting topic. Unit 29. This talks about tourism policy and planning. Why there is a need for tourism policy and planning? Because whenever we talk about tourism policy and planning, it indicates the process of developing as well as implementing developing strategies as well as implementing the strategies to promote as well as manage tourism in a systematic manner. And so this especially involves creating policies as well as regulations, guidelines to support sustainable tourism development, as well as it also includes planning as well as infrastructure development and accommodation as required by the tourists and the or the visitors. So basically, to this policy and planning is very essential in tourism to maximize the benefits and to minimize the negative impacts. So there should be a proper coordination between the public sectors and the private sectors. There should be, prevent negative impact, to regulate and legislate, and also ensure to improve the quality service in terms of infrastructure, hospitality, food altogether. And of course, not only that, it also ensures that proper workforce is there, proper availability of proper workforce with human resources. You need to train proper workforce, and they should also be properly trained. The government of India has launched various training programs specially to train these human resources in the field of tourism. And last and not the least, you have to market the destination, you have to market the tourism product. That is very important. Okay. So basically, like when we talk about planning includes study preparation, then determining the goals, then the service, determining the goals, then doing surveys, then analysis, then plan formulations, doing research, then you come with a lot of recommendations, suggestions, then monitoring, evaluation, modification, reassessment. So all these are included in the planning. Basically, the key when we talk about the tourism planning, the key components of tourism policy and planning include stakeholders, engagement of the stakeholders, then market research, then comes development of infrastructure, then regulation as well as enforcement, as well as marketing, as well as promotion. Yesterday we learned about this, day before yesterday. Then sustainable tourism development. Now coming to the stakeholders engagement, basically when we talk about the stakeholders, it includes not only the community, the community people, but also like destination tourism organization. Then we have different development authorities, tourism development authorities, the government officials, the tourism government officials. So they all are a part of the stakeholders. So there should be a stakeholder. When we talk about stakeholders engagement, it involves local communities, then the business organizations, government officials and government organizations, that is the agencies, in the planning process, to show that their interest as well as concerns are being taken into account. Then we have come to the market research. When we talk about market research, we should conduct proper market research to understand the needs, the requirements, the preferences of the tourists, as well as also need to identify the target markets for promoting and marketing efforts, because you also need to know who are your target customers, and as per that you can redesign your location as well as the products. Okay. Then come infrastructure developments also. So planning and infrastructure development, such as which includes transportation, like mode of transportation, air, water, this transportation system, airways, waterways, roadways. Then come the accommodation, different types of hotels, lodgings. Then also you have sightseeing attraction sites to support tourism growth, while ensuring to minimize the negative impacts of tourism on the environmental and local communities. Then also we have regulation and enforcement. What do you mean by basically regulation and enforcement? Developing and enforcing regulations, related to tourism activities such as use of land, then protection of the environment, visitor behavior. These are all comes under regulation and enforcement. We also do have marketing and promotion, like doing a market research. Then you have to the product you have, whether it is in the terms of accommodation, that is the destination, or the uh, arts and crafts, of a particular place. So we need to create these marketing strategies to promote these products to the potential customers, the tourists, and which also, like when we talk about marketing and promotion, it also includes advertisement, then public relations, interactions with guests, as well as nowadays digital marketing efforts are also being they also came into force. Okay, now this is also very important. Like right from the very beginning, I was telling you, that is always a hot, you can say, topic discussion. Sustainable development, because sustainable tourism development, it occupies a major, you can say, I mean, that's an initiative which we need to take to protect our environment. Okay, so it is always a topic of discussion. And when we talk about sustainable tourism development, so we have to implement policies as well as practices, measures to be followed that support sustainable tourism development, like conservation of natural resources, conservation of cultural resources, then involvement of community to protect their community and environment, as well as taking responsible tourism measures. Okay, so this is what is very important. So overall, we see that tourism policy as well as planning always aims to maximize the economic, social, political, and environmental benefits of tourism while minimizing the negative impacts. And it also, at the same time, it also requires collaboration and careful consideration of the long term implications of tourism development. So in the year 1982, the tourism yeah, the tourism policy, that was declared in the year 1982, and the main objective, like it specified the development objects and presented an action plan with a concept on travel circuit. And this national policy has focused basically on the importance of coordination and appropriately referred to tourism as a common endeavor. And in the year 2000, in the year 2002, Government of India announced a new tourism policy to give boost to the tourism sector. And this, some of these objectives are well defined. You can just go through this. It is basically like, preserve, retain our culture, enrich our worldview, lifestyle, and all. Socio-economic, bringing socio-economic benefit to the community, as well as offering lot of opportunities in molding the youth of the country, and ensure to enhance, you have to ensure that they do not disturb the natural beauty of a particular place, and enhance to preserve the environmentally sensitive regions and other monuments. So there it goes. Some, like, the Tourism and Planning Commission, like I've already mentioned, it was developed in the year, declared in the year 1982. And the development of tourism, for balanced development of tourism in India, it is necessary to develop the selected tourist circuits, diversify tourism to India from traditional sightseeing tours, as well as restore and develop national heritage products, and also explore new tourist generating markets. So while planning to achieve all this, maintain a balanced development of tourism, we should also take care of anti-poverty and backward area development. Okay, now you can say, like there are some, the policy is basically built around 7S, welcome, you should be informative oriented. Then comes the facilitation, you should provide the minimum facilities and all that is, so it is facilitation. Next is, security, that is also very important. Now security always lies in the first, if you see like what are the criterias, essential criterias on tourism lies, so first you will see security, because security is very important. Then comes, there should be a proper cooperation, as I've already mentioned, between the stakeholders, between the stakeholders, because then only the tourism of the particular destination can grow. So proper cooperation, coordination has to be there. Then infrastructure development, yes. When tourists are visiting, it is not only accommodation, you have to also ensure the fooding part also, and cleanliness. So we have a in India has started this Swachh Bharat. Swachh means cleanliness. So we want a clean India. That is Swachh Bharat. Bharat is India, and Swachh means clean. So we want a clean India. That is very important, because people have the habit of throwing garbages here and there. So that is this. Measure has been taken, that we should uh, keep India as a clean country. Okay, so there are a lot of recommendations also. I have showed you those palace on wheels trains. Then a lot of airlines has also to be privatized. Like we have this airlines, Air India. It was under government of India, but now it has privatized. It has been taken over by the Tatas. Okay, then lot of river cruise has also been launched, like especially like in Banaras and all. So this, because India has lot of rivers and all. So there's a potential, because people wanted to visit. They wanted to go for river cruise and all. So potential for river cruise has also been tapped. Okay, so these are some recommendations. Some are already there in the pipeline. Some are already it has already been developed and it is running smoothly, and some are in the pipeline. So basically, you need to check the environmental issues. Check the environment. You should keep an eye on the environmental issues. Uh, you know, uh, like there are a lot of organizations who are taking care of the environment, and we have to protect the environment. We have to restore the environment and manage the environment. So that is what we are looking forward to, and we should protect our ecosystem, the local ecosystem, and we should ensure that only whenever there's infrastructure development, that also have a very negative impact on the environment. So we have to ensure that it is being protected, okay, without harming the flora and fauna of the particular destination. So these were basically the objectives of the National Action Plan 1992. Yes, preserving the, obviously it is always in the first priority, that is preserving the national heritage of the environment and developing domestic tourism, especially of budgetary category, and then comes the development of international tourism and diversification of the tourism products and increase of share in the world tourism. So there are many websites where you can go through these websites. If you need some informations, you can get it. And the government of India is really doing a lot, especially the Ministry of Tourism, right from not only developing eco-tourist destinations, but also infrastructure. Along with the infrastructure development, it has also ensured that proper trainings are being imparted to the communities, localites, so that they also get an opportunity to serve the guest, and it would also serve as an employment. So this, there are a lot of training programs are being conducting. They are being designed. These training programs are basically designed and conducted by the different school of hotel management, okay, institute of hotel management, run by the state government and the state central government. So these strategies are being developed for the these strategies are developed for the infrastructure development, and of course evolving suitable policy for increasing the foreign tourists. there, like few things I just wanted to show you, like accommodation sector is also there, pilgrimage is there, pilgrimage tourism is there. There are crafts village. That day I showed you a PPT, which is located in Rajasthan. It's depicting the, it's a man-made, like it's depicting the particular, the rural village, the rural, the how the village looks like right from your habits, the lifestyle, their eating habits, their outfits, their festivals, how it is being celebrated. So once you visit that village, you get to know the how a village basically is like, how the process is like, how the system is like, how the people are, right from the foods, the festivals, their way of dressing, their food habits, their celebrations, everything. Okay, and of course there are a lot of foreign investments also. There are many Indians, especially the NRIs, non-residents Indians. Plus, there are many Indians, who are now settled in foreign countries. So they are also participating in this foreign investments, as well as our Prime Minister. Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, he also visits various countries in the world, so that which results in foreign investments also, because we have lot of destinations where, which can really be developed. Okay, so of course there are a lot of investments are required. For that there are a lot of foreign investors. Okay, so there is also a lot of conferences, seminars, workshops are being organized, international, not national seminars. They take place often, but yes, there are international seminars, conferences, workshops that are being organized in a country. That is the reason how the term convention tourism came. Okay, that's known as convention tourism. So basically, the areas are being developed on a selective basis for integrated growth. And of course, as I told you, we have 28 states and 8 union territories, and each state, has its unique culture, heritage, monuments, food habits. So those are being developed. Okay, I mean, they are being given the opportunity to develop, and of course to promote all those. Okay, so strengthening the institutions for manpower development. Lot of hotel management colleges are coming up, lot of tourism institutions are there also, and where short term courses are provided as well as long term courses are also being provided. So, and I have also told you that India has is India I mean regularly participates in road shows, international road shows. So the reason behind is to market our country globally, and project a country globally. So you have to do the proper marketing and overseas publicity, that is especially being organized by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. Here comes a sea. There you see, this is a river cruise. It has earlier it was not there, but yes, it has been started in like Varanasi. Then Andamans had, but Varanasi didn't have. So now this cruise is there. Then in Goa also we have lot of river cruises. Then you see these tents. These are all eco tourist tents. Okay, these are quite expensive, and these eco tourist tents are usually located in the near the beaches, in the thick forests land also. And usually tourists visit for 1 day 1 night, or maybe maximum 2 days 1 night. So you get to enjoy the beauty of the scenic beauty of the beaches, or whether it's the hill stations, or whether it's the mangrove forests. Okay, so these creation of special tourism areas, and there is also financial assistance under assistance for specified tourism areas. Then there are marketing support to the heritage hotels, the resorts. Then, as I told you, river cruise has operated. Then there is also information revolution by adopting new communicating facilities. Then tourist facilities are also there at the international airports. Then there are liberalized charters policy and automatic clearance. So all these are the action plans which have been summarized. Okay, so before moving to unit 30, I have a small video that is of 3 minutes. Okay. I'll show you the video.
We are sorry. The company is moving ahead with another candidate. And we wish you all the very best with your career ahead. This is what HR says every.
Uttar Pradesh.
This video is on the tourism policy that is being, launched by the state Uttar Pradesh. It is one of the largest. It is one of the states in the central part of India, and it is known for its unique beauty as well as culture. So there it goes. Okay, one sec. And of course tourism is influencing millions of people lives
Wonder
over
of
the world
nature.
every day.
The
This
center
is in
of
Uttar
art,
Pradesh.
architecture, a canvas of history, and now a wealth of opportunity.
There you have river cruise.
Welcome
That's in Varanasi.
to welcome to Uttar
Uttar Pradesh,
Pradesh.
this is the state.
Under the new tourism policy undertaken by the state government, UP is gearing up to host the New Age tourist
There it goes,
with
see,
innovative programs and
lot of
events
sports
like
activities,
ecotourism.
ecotourism.
This is just way to travel. Adventure tourism for the thrill seekers. Heritage properties, which
These are the
showcase the
heritage
history,
sites,
architecture, and
monuments.
heritage of this great state. Rural tourism for those who seek a rustic, simple escape. And Yuva tourism for the young in age and at heart. Starting from 2022, the program intends to revolutionize tourism in the state within the next 5 years. The UP government has helped widen the scope of tourism in the state by introducing new categories.
See, I just wanted to say, see, hotels, ecotourism, says river cruises, wellness center, then there's the mines. These all have come up in this state. Okay. I mean, it is there also available in other states also. But Uttar Pradesh is focusing much on this tourism policy. Okay.
These categories have been created based on their intrinsic nature and thereby help the government direct efforts towards them more precisely. The UP government has also created thematic sectors for tourism activities. The state has also created mega circuits that curate customized experiences based on themes and relevance to the location. Under the new tourism policy enacted, various incentives, subsidies, and concessions have been formulated. These include special incentives for heritage hotels, where a 25% subsidy on capital cost will be offered, a 5% subsidy for a period of 5 years on a bank loan up to INR 5 crores, a 100% exemption on stamp duty and land use conversion, and the provision of both capital and interest subsidy. A capital investment subsidy, one of the highlights of which is a 5% subsidy to women entrepreneurs, along with incentives provided within 20 kilometers of the sites in the circuits and at unserved destinations, an additional 5% subsidy for new tourism units in unserved and focused tourism destinations, land purchased included in ECI. PPP projects can also avail incentives under this program. Along with that, interest subsidy of 5% for a period of 5 years on a bank loan up to INR 5 crores is provided, and the unit can apply for either capital or interest subsidy. 100% exemption of stamp duty for the first transaction. 100% waiver on all tourism units for land conversion and development charges. For the revival of scarce art and culture, INR 5 lakhs will be granted to an individual or group involved in art revival. For infrastructure development, a 10% capital subsidy on ECI for procurement of e-vehicles, and a 20% reimbursement of road tax for 2 years on purchase of tour buses will be provided, along with many other subsidies, incentives, and concessions. The aim is to create holistic development that allows the business of tourism to flourish and its benefits to reach across gender and demographics across varied locations. With this program, budget hotels, wellness centers, ecotourism stays, resorts, and theme parks, along with other tourism units, stand to benefit in a big way. And this has resulted in many success stories.
We have not only benefited in terms of facilitation, branding, marketing, global outreach, but we have also been a beneficiary of a capital subsidy grant, which is being offered to all new heritage properties being set up in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And very efficiently and successfully, uh, we've been facilitated by the UP Tourism Department.
The state of UP has not only streamlined the process of investment, but also created the right environment for tourism to develop and thrive in the state. With a brand new marketing campaign underway, the policy is helping tourism in the state gain more and more momentum. The word is spreading across the world and the nation. यूपी नहीं देखा तो इंडिया नहीं देखा. Come and see it yourself. To know more,
So that was, a video on the national tourism policy that's been set up by Uttar Pradesh. The last statement they made, if you haven't visited Uttar Pradesh, I mean, the Taj Mahal, one of the seven wonders of the world, that is located in Uttar Pradesh, and it is being said that if you haven't visited Uttar Pradesh, then you haven't seen India. So last that they said, if you haven't visited Uttar Pradesh, the state of India, then you haven't seen India. So ensure to make whenever you visit India, that keep it in your bucket list, because if you visit India, you should visit Uttar Pradesh, the one of the seven wonders of the world. Okay, so moving to the slides. Uh, Yes, here we come. That is infrastructure development. Now, these are some aspects to be considered. Like as tourism expands, the space required and other infrastructures also required to be increased accordingly. Yes, that is very important. So, tourism makes people, they change their daily routine, and to ensure tourism is not becoming a danger to the community, following things has to be taken care of. There should be promotion of the beneficial effect of holidays with the domestic tourists, and lot of subsidies has been approved. You have the person who said, he's the director of an organization, the hospitality organization, where he has mentioned that a lot of subsidies has been approved. And so you need to analyze the role of tourism in the national economy, and you have to protection of tourists so that they may enjoy the versatility of that particular place, and protection of rights of individuals and communities. So these are the aspects to be considered. There are other aspects also, but these are few of the aspects which is being defined. Then yes, the infrastructure can be defined as policies and relationships that remove the barriers or obstacles to free travel. And when we talk about the infrastructure, It includes, like facilities such as, proper sewage disposal facility, availability of land, then proper electricity, then water system, water provision of water, that is also very important. Then there are some taxation policies. So these all improves the quality of life. And when we talk about infrastructure, these all being included. Then international standards, like top 10 tourism destinations do not include the third world, so people from developed countries requires more comfortable a destination also. And this leads to a pressure on third world destinations to organize, standardize and manage the supply aspects. Now especially, whether the many tourist providers, they are operating globally to bring our country on the global map. Okay, we need to have a world class cluster, that is very essential. And yes, talking about the management of infrastructure, this every, like we celebrate, as I have mentioned, that 27th September is being celebrated as the World Tourism Day. And this year, every year, there's a theme for tourism. So this year the theme for tourism was green tourism. So basically we have to initiate and practice all green measures to protect the environment, to preserve the flora and fauna of the country. And since energy is most essential to the tourism product, we should ensure, how to maintain, like whether it's a solar, instead of like electricity, we can always use solar. Okay, where you have to trap the sun rays, and in that can be utilized as the electricity. So even that can be used for cooking, so steps can be adapted. We need to adapt many steps as well as measures to save the energy. And yes, we can, on the other side, we can also shift to alternative resources and reduce waste. That is very, there are 3 hours, we have to reduce the waste, you know that is very important. Yeah, that is, one R stands for reduce, another R stands for reuse. So so you have to reduce the waste, you have to reuse the materials which can be again used. So that is what happens. And reuse, you can also reuse them. So combine the business as with pleasure. Whenever it's a business trip, you should combine with the pleasurable trip. And you should ensure to reduce waste as much as possible, especially the hotels. They are also adapting several measures, you know, to initiate green tourism. And so we have to save the energy. Our motto is to save the planet. So integrate terminal of different modes. And yes, there are a lot of tourist circuits has been developed. And this, to develop tourist circuits, why do we develop the tourist circuits? The reason is to shorten the distance of tours. And yes, we have to enhance the tourism attractions in cities where all the infrastructure exists. Because tourist doesn't, sometimes all the informations are not being highlighted in the websites. So you have to enhance tourism attraction in the cities where all the infrastructure exists. Okay, that is very important. Then yes, creating and managing the tourism infrastructure in line with international standards. Yes, there you could see those are the solar, that is the one which is used for trapping solar light. They are the solar panels, they are known as the solar panels, which are being used to trap the sun rays, and that can be converted to solar energy. Okay, so these are, so yes, foreign investments can be attracted only when rules and regulations are changed. So much stress is given to generate investment from private sectors by providing incentives such as in low interest and long-term loans. Then yes, you have seen the video. So there are a lot of government subsidies for the facilities, especially in the backward regions, to empower especially the women. And there are tax redemptions, tax exemptions, interest rebate, duty-free imports and land and for low cost. Is all these are being initiated, and to ensure that we can create proper tourism infrastructure, as well as we need to manage also. So there are a lot of shortcomings at the same time. We also tourism departments, they organize various tours also for the media as well as the travel industry, and we have to keep the following points in mind when developing tourism industry in a vast area. So, like, what are the number of tourist destinations to be developed, what are the facilitation to be provided, like visa, immigration, custom facilities, and so on, airports and other facilities with proper staff training, then road and transport for fast developments. Then yes, hygiene is also very important, that should be. And last but not the least, you should ensure that accommodations are being provided, different types of accommodations are being provided, which suits the budget and pockets of the tourists. And there are a lot of trade fairs are being organized to sensitize people about the informations, okay, about the new destinations, new tourism products that are coming up. Yes, restructuring can also be done effectively with the help of private players by providing incentives. There is a, private, public-private partnership is there in lot of businesses. So there's a better and balanced spread of infrastructure is especially is the need of the hour in today's life, in today's scenario. And yes, we need a lot of support from the local community as the government, because unless and until we get the support from the government, it is very difficult to initiate the problem or to run the system. So that is how we need to have the cooperation from the cooperation and support from the government. And yes, one of the major issues which cause problems, that is the garbage disposable. It is under the pollution control board. So you have to ensure that proper garbage Islamic is there, and we ensure that whatever services that is being provided, it should be well I mean good quality service, okay. And this is possible only when everyone understand his role properly. See, everyone's engagement is very necessary. That is the reason, first point, first priority was stakeholders engagement, so that your engagement should be there. Only when you are engaged in such an activity, then that thought process comes to your mind, so which would help to initiate the growth of tourism. So ensure that garbage disposal should be, that's some major issue. It should be it has to be concentrated so that a proper disposal system takes place. There are some alternative viewpoints. Tourism benefits are not equally distributed, so there will remain a gap in the society. And 1 minute. So, life support of native people are affected due to tourism development. 1 minute. Huh? Hello, hello. হ্যাঁ, হ্যাঁ, কিছু বলার ছিল? আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে। নিয়ে আসবো আমি। হ্যাঁ, হুম। So environmental damages arises when the infrastructure are built, that because a lot of the vehicles are flying, especially if you see, especially in place like Delhi, Mumbai, you'll find the smoke is like dust and smoke. So the smoke, coming from the vehicles and all, that smoke. And dust is, you'll find why the dust, because of this infrastructure development. lot of we are always emphasizing on the safety and security of the travelers. It is and also especially on women travelers. And a lot of crimes are increasing day by day, so you have to ensure that the crimes are being reduced. So in some tourist destinations, there are tourist police is also being deployed to ensure that all these crimes does not take place. Terrorist attack, or other types of crimes or vandalism does not, because these all has a very negative impact on the tourism sector of a country. So we have to ensure that tourism success only when there exist less gaps between the tourist and the local people. And especially tourism infrastructures, social and recreation needs of tourists should not be pushed on local people. It should not be only the local people are responsible. It is everybody's work. So we all should be involved in this community development. So benefits of tourism to local people has to be counted rather than counting the foreign exchange generated by tourism. I'm just repeating, this is very important. Benefits of tourism to local people has to be counted rather than counting the foreign exchange generated by tourism. But what our country does, our country only sometimes they only earn. They have to see, they have to generate profit. So they have to see, they keep on counting that foreign exchange that is being generated by the tourism. But no, you should first ensure that the local people, what benefits of tourism they are providing to the local people, because if they are being benefited, then only our tourism can grow, otherwise it won't. So yes, the Unit 31, it is all about about the local. Unit 31 is all about the local bodies, officials, and tourism. So municipality, municipal corporations, different local bodies, then NGOs, then you have this development authorities of the particular places, destinations, locations, village panchayats. They are some of the local bodies which has a very important role to play in tourism. And basically they are the bodies at the local level or the regional level for responsible for developing of that particular area. So they are the ones who facilitate this informations or upliftment of the people, the development of the development of the tourist site. So such bodies are found even during prehistoric times in India. And so we need to know there should be a proper cooperation between government and local government. And there should be corruption free good governance. There should be good governance, which means free corruption. Then immediate environment protection action has to be there. We should also development of infrastructure, that is always in the list. And the transportation system has also should be developed. Nowadays many vehicles have been launched, those are battery driven vehicles, so it does not produce any smoke as such. Okay. um, so emergency medical service has to be there. And you have to always, that's your first priority, you should increase the safety and security of your travelers, your tourists. So yes, there are all these functions like public health, public safety, medical and public work, sanitation and conservance work. So these are all you have to focus on. There are some obligatory functions, there are some discretionary functions. When you talk about the obligatory functions, like it includes the disposal of garbage, cleaning of the drains and public toilets, then removal of obstruction in public places, then maintenance of fire brigade, then control and regulation of eating places. At times you will see there are a lot of eating places. Now those have, you have also seen there are many hotels, especially the resort like near beaches and all. There are a lot of hotels which have come up, but they don't have proper licenses. So there should be proper regulations, rules, guidelines should be, licenses to be, whenever such construction or comes, there should be proper license. Okay, so control and regulation of such places and publication of corporation report, these comes under obligatory functions. And there are some discretionary functions includes construction of public gardens, then parks, then planting of trees or bushes on the roadside, or on the, the divider, then destruction or detention of stray dogs, then yes, survey of buildings and islands, as well as charge, like registration of marriages and all those, celebration of national days. So this organization of fairs and exhibitions, so this has to be taken care of properly. So usually the local bodies, the regional, the states, are fully. There should be a proper coordination between them, and you should always remember that guidance and control should not be negative, and it should not restrict the initiative, discretion, and assumption of responsibility by the local bodies. So, as resource base of local bodies are shrinking, state governments are doing little, and powers of suppression and dissolution are being indiscriminately used against local bodies. So you know what happens sometimes, it has been observed, the statistics also say the local bodies are not being paid properly, or they are not being benefited. So once they are not being benefited, they are being deprived. So they don't have that interest. So that should be always taken care of. They should be motivated with lots of subsidies, as mentioned above. So you get that enthusiasm to perform the task. These are some local bodies and tourism. Those are the areas that has to be managed properly by the local bodies for tourism development, like roads, infrastructure, then traffic signs, then you have proper sanitations, proper toilets. Now what happened, India has also come up with this, there should be toilets in all villages. Even what happened, fairs and exhibitions, you usually don't have toilets, like but now the system has been made, they have like, first the public toilets are being constructed, like those are toilets on wheels, you can see. So you can place them like whenever this fairs, at places like fairs and exhibitions. Okay, there should be first aid or doctors on call, provision should also be there. And there are also a lot of shopping centers, as well as local transport. And there, whenever you enter any fairs and exhibitions, first booth that occupies, that attracts your and that attracts you is the police booth, information booth, the police booth the first. So why the police booth is kept there? The police booth is basically kept there for the safety and security of the um, customers, the tourists. So first you'll find the police booth, then you'll find the information booth. If you want any information, then there is a ticket counter where you need to get your ticket. You pay for that and you enter the exhibitions or the fairs. Okay, that is how it is now in a country run, so that everything is very systemized. Yes, and you will find also not only police booth or information booth, you'll also find the uh, fire safety. You'll find the fire safety officer, fire safety also, they open a booth, so where a fire engine vehicle is there, suppose if any fire catches, so that I mean it can be taken special care. So that is how. And of course you have to ensure that pollution, there's lot of pollution that has to be reduced. So nowadays lot of precautionary measures has been taken by the local governments, the state governments, to ensure that pollution is being reduced. It can be air pollution, it can be soil pollution, it can be water pollution. So there are a lot of pollutions. You have to ensure that the pollution is being reduced. So several measures are being implemented, has been taken and been implemented by the government to reduce the pollution of the particular destination. So you should always remember that performing above tasks can not only directly promote tourism, but at the same time, if these tasks are not being performed smooth in an efficient manner, then it would be direct in the tourism of that place in a negative manner. So you have to ensure that all these tasks are there whenever whether it's recreation. Nowadays, if you go to any parks or amusement parks, or amusement centers, you'll find there are all this availability of shopping centers, then your proper toilets, sanitation and toilets, even the medical shops, like it's medical shops, like few, like you need a band-aid or something, detols and all those minimum requirements are available, as well as doctors on call, that is also very much necessary, and security, law and order, that has to be maintained. Okay. Now, yes, some of the major reasons for poor performances, some of the major reasons for the local bodies to perform poorly are as follows. One is the poor finances. Sometimes the finance is not properly. That is the reason where there is foreign investment is taking place. Our country is, they are inviting the foreign investors to invest in the tourism sector. Okay, so there are a lot lack of incentives, like tourism expenditure at a destination does not reach. Mhm. One sec. Does not The tourist expenditure at a destination does not reach the concerned local body, and this being the condition of all stakeholders in tourism expect local bodies to provide roads, parks, garden, parking slots, shopping, etc. And there are lack of also differences in parties involved in governing the state and local bodies also creates a lot of problem in efficient functioning. The reason behind, in our we have the largest governance, and the thing is that sometimes the parties, the government changes, and what happens, suppose a state was running by one party, and suddenly after every 5 years we have elections and the government changes. So in this way it also has a very negative impact on the local bodies, and of course it also creates a lot of problem in efficient functioning of the system. And thus it has a negative impact on the particular destination. So there should always be mutual trust between the members who work together. And what are the measures for improvement? 1 minute. Yes, it's there. No, I was wondering. 1 minute. Uh, Sometimes there's network issues, so that's why I have to check at times. So measures for improvement. What are the measures for improvement? Strong financial position of the local bodies, and share of earnings from tourism to be provided to local bodies. That is what does not, there is not a proper, you can filtration, you say, proper filtration lacks here, because whatever, because the local bodies, especially, they try to share their cuisine, they try to share their arts and crafts. So whatever earnings like in local elected representatives and the officials. The relationship should exist, should be there, and there should be cooperation of the citizens, and this is very important. So, like good relations to be maintained between the local bodies and the tourist resort management. Okay, and we should always give much importance to the environment, that is preservation of the environment, preservation of the flora and fauna of the particular country. Like what happens, tourists coming to a particular destination to enjoy the flora or wildlife beauty of that particular place. And there are a lot of food joints, so they eat and then they throw the trash here and there without putting the trash in the proper area, dustbin. So that has to be, this all has to be sensitized, becoming aware of all this, otherwise they are not aware. So one thing is why this training is being imparted to the local community, because see, this local community, especially the village people, they are not much educated. But yes, this proper training has to be initiated, proper training has to be initiated, so that they are aware of the all these benefits, the do's, the don'ts, okay. And they can also they learn and they can teach their younger generation. So that is very much essential, okay. And yes, the younger generation, that is known as the yuva, the yuva generation, that is the younger generation, which is in Hindi it is known as yuva, and they should participate in all these type of like fairs and exhibitions, or small workshops that are, so in lieu of that they also come to know many things, so that is very important. So you have to ensure that the environment is properly being preserved, there's no loss to the flora and fauna of that particular area. Coming to the development dependency and Manila Declaration. So, yes, essential features like dependency theory emerged against the third world scholars that support the views that new forms of economic relations is the extension of colonialism, and labor forces are reused to the growth of global market economy, and in tourism industry globally maximum infrastructure are owned by multinational companies. So what happens, you have to, like, the third world tourism, they accrue mainly to the rich industrial nations from where the tourists originate. So you have to, that is what is the dependency theory is all known as. And what happened, tourism claims to bring substantial economic benefits, especially to the poorer nations, and its critics emphasizes the role of tourism in planning and buying a product, instead of the cash flow going to the localites, it goes to others, okay. So that is what leakages basically is about. So leakages occur because import of goods and services by the tourist hotels, international promoting and advertising agency has to be reassure, has to be they should, this advertising agencies are should be promoted, so they can promote our local destinations in a better way. Then there are also like contractual and service fees. I've told you there are some subsidiary functions, so there they should also be involved. So contractual and service fees, investigation, there are a lot of you can say bodies or which are taking care, I mean, they benefit, and thus, but the localites don't benefit. So you have to ensure that this is being properly well, because there are a lot of commissions are being given to the tour operators, but the localites, they don't get any benefit or any opportunity to do so. So you have to put a control on this leakage part also. And repatriation of profits by foreign hotel owners, and like imports of films. Then there's the cameras, accessories, winter sports equipments, these are being imported. So there is always leakage of, you can say, fund, okay, which are not being properly utilized, okay. So gross foreign exchange earnings from tourism can be miscalculated unless leakages are all taken into account. So you should remember that policies regarding tourism has to look deep into various uh, policies, basically, uh, you should remember that policies regarding tourism has to look deep into such problems, and they has to be removed from the very beginning, okay. Because see, once you are whether you are a host or whether you are the guest, okay, the host community who are hosting the guest, they, you have to keep them satisfied, because if they are not satisfied, then there will be a negative impact, because they are the ones, when a tourist visits a eco-tourist sites, they usually directly interact with the local tourist or local guides. So you have to take care, and there are many policies and such which has been specially implemented to ensure that the people are not being cheated, okay. And properly they are being subsidized rates are being offered to them. So this is regarding the tourism agenda for social concern in third world countries, was sounded in the third world countries of churches in 1967 at Tanzania. Yes, this is just, you can say, some information. And yes, this is very important, the Manila conference, because when we talk about the Manila conference, this was adapted in the year 1980, and the World Tourism Convention, sponsored by WTO, that is World Tourism Organization. This Manila conference took place at the Philippines International Conference in the year 1980, and about the participants. Yes, this is basically this Manila conference declaration on world tourism, it was brought about on September 27th to 20 27 September to October 10th, 1980, and he had the participation, because they also, this declaration was the main objective. They had the participation of around 107 delegations of states, and the 91 delegations of observe, and the focus was mainly on the nature of tourism and the role of it must play as an money, and the role it must play in an over evolving world, okay. So the Manila workshop was basically set up, a task force was set up as a task force to follow up its recommendations, and especially steps were taken to establish a secretariat which will implement the program. And eventually, in the year 1982, the at Port Moresby, the Ecumenical Coalition on Third World Tourism was formally organized, and it was here you can see the coalition which took place. Okay. Now, there are some original principles which aimed of coalition, which are now stated, because the main aim was to focus on tourism and the effects it has on the people of world tourism. That was, in the, I mean, you have to focus on tourism and the effects it has on the people of the third world. So you have to provide them opportunities, especially the poor people who are being affected by tourism, to express their views and hopes. Especially, after, like, during the COVID time also, people were, even those who are, especially the tourism industry was badly affected. That was the worst effect, especially on the tourism effect, because the hotels were not running. There were a lot of employees were deprived of getting their salary, and this is the time during which, people, especially those working in travel and tourism sector, they had opted for different positions. But anyway, your return was good. I mean, you can see, like, this when this type of conferences and this takes place, lot of issues are being discussed, and solutions are being come. So foster the implementation of decisions made at the international workshop on the third world tourism, which was held at Manila, Philippines on September 1980. Okay. There's some, yes, coming about the economic impacts of tourism. The government of India's, especially when we talk about the economic impacts, the government of India's national action plan for tourism mentions that during the 1989 to 1990, tourism industry in India generated employment of 5.5 million persons, and indirectly 8 million people. Religious impacts, like taking a small example, like religious tourism, they contribute to the economy by generating revenue. How do they generate revenue? By, paying the entry fees. Then sometimes, here's lot of donations are also being made. In India we have temples, Tirupati temple, then Shirdi Sai temple, that's in Maharashtra, place called Shirdi near Pune. They have lot of, I mean, the devotees. The devotees pay a lot of donations. And once, why they pay a lot of donations, the reason behind, they might have prayed to God for fulfillment of their uh, some wishes. So once their wishes get fulfilled, they donate a lot. I mean, not everybody else, but usually, yes, they donate some promises. Some, they come to the God, they pray to God and say if their wish of this is being fulfilled, then they would donate something. So that is, so what happens when these donations are being made? That is also a source of revenue earning from the tourism sector. And as I told you, whether it is, buying flowers or sweets to offer to gods, that is at the religious side, that is also a mode of practices. And this contributes to overall, this contributes to overall, you know you can say the tourist places, which helps, I mean, especially it has a very substantial economic impact on the tourism industry, contributing to revenue generation, then opportunity of jobs provided by tourism, highly educated people and people with and also you can say the preservation of cultural heritage. So jobs were created by tourism where there were few employment opportunities, and also tourism also provided employment to highly educated people and people with less educational qualifications. So in the sense, see, it is like it is always not. There are different courses are there running by different hospitality and tourism organizations. There are short-term courses, there are long-term courses. So especially the rural people, they are not that financially strong, but yes, they can once they have the short-term courses. They get the certificate, they can run their own business, or they can get employed in this tourist resorts and tourists, but especially the hilly regions and all. During summer, during rainy season, you won't visit a whole hilly destination, but during the summer season and the winter season, you would like to visit the destinations. So many jobs are being created by tourism which are seasonal. So that is the season where they earn money. So that is one. Sometimes the local population says, they don't have a permanent job, that's a temporary. And yes, sometimes it is also been observed, only jobs, that low classes jobs are being provided to the local youth, whereas high officials, the jobs, they are at the city. It is not at as such, it is not as such, but yes, especially the people of the rural areas, they are not much educated, so they are usually being given jobs at a lower level. Okay. So and they think all the managerial jobs are being given to the outsiders. So so this is the way which this stigma should also be, the stigma that is there with tourism industry should also be removed. Now that is where there are a lot of earnings that are coming from tourism, that also do not come from the locals also. And during season, the prices of essential commodities also goes up due to tourism inflow. That is sometimes it has been observed, especially when there is inflow of tourists increases at a particular destinations. What happens, the local people, they try to cheat the customers, they try to cheat the tourists. So this what happened, because when they find that there is a demand of that product or demand, so they try to increase the prices, but you should not do. For example, you leave about the local rural area. The World Cup, the Cricket World Cup was held in our country, and the final match took place in Gujarat, a place called Ahmedabad. Okay, and you won't believe, the hotel room rates were hiked, not double, they were tripled. Means the room rate, which was rupees 8,000, they were increased to 24,000. Double means 16,000. No. So because there were lot inflow of tourists, because everybody wanted to see the World Cup cricket match. Not India, not in-house. I'm not talking about the inbound tourists. Inbound tourists were there. There were international tourists, and even there are a lot of NRIs who were settled abroad. They wanted, they came, they took a flight and they came to India to visit the man. So what did, there's a lot of revenue generated. But what happened, the hotel industry, they have hiked the prices of the room rates. The flight tickets were in, that also, the flight tickets, the fare were also increased by 30%, 40%, 60%, depending. So you see, sometimes, because there was a lot of demand. So that I gave you an example of the tourist, you can say that's a sports tourism. I mean, that is, but yes, even in the local lights, even in the local sector also, whenever there is a high demand of tourists, especially at the weekends, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the localites, I mean the local community, whether they're selling the any arts or crafts or food or room rates, they hike the prices. So these has a very negative impact on the tourists visiting those. So earnings, the reason, because they also sometimes earnings, they do not come from the earnings from tourism, they do not go to the locals. So that is the reason one. So during seasons, the prices of essential commodities goes up due to tourist inflow, and price rise affects the local people. Okay, so yes, there you have the income, like volume of tourist traffic, amount of tourist expenditure, then their pattern of their spending, how, then if tourist expenditure gets circulated among different people, and in each circle it generates income and adds to the original sum. So if tourism industry buy goods and services from local markets, then multiplier effect will be greater. Now I think I have told you about the multiplier effect. Now what do you mean by the multiplier effect? If goods and services are imported, the multiplier effect also decreases. Now here comes the multiplier effect. Okay, this is a model. See the multiplier, when the multiplier effect in tourism, when we talk about the multiplier effect in tourism, it refers to a phenomenon where the initial spending capacity by the tourist in a destination leads to a ripple effect of increased economic activity and income generation throughout the local economy. So this occurs as the money spent by tourists circulates through the economy, creating additional rounds of spending and creating a larger economic impact than the initial expenditure. Now, the multiplier effect can be seen in various aspects of the local economy, including, like, we have the accommodation sector, the food and beverage industry, transportation, entertainment sector, as well as the retail outlets also. For example, I'm giving you an example. For example, when tourists spend more money on accommodation, this revenue supports what happens. This the revenue that is being generated, it supports the wages of the hotel staff, the local suppliers, as well as other businesses in the area. Now, these businesses in turn spend their earnings, whatever they earn, they spend their earnings on the goods, on purchasing goods and services, further stimulating economic activity in the destination. Now here comes, now this multiplier effect also extends to employment, as increased tourism activity, creates job opportunities in various sectors such as the hospitality industry, the food industry, the transportation industry, the retail and tour guiding. This can have a positive impact on reducing unemployment activity and also the standard of living of the residents. So furthermore, the multiplier effect in tourism can effect can also contribute to the infrastructure development and public services in the destination, and as increased tourism activity generates tax revenue. When there's there's when the tourism inflow, there's a lot of tourism inflow. It also results in generating tax revenues that can be reinvested into improving the local infrastructure, public facilities, and amenities. So you can say the overall multiplier effect in tourism affects or I mean it demonstrates basically the significant economic benefits as well as you know under the try to realize I mean underscore the importance of sustainable tourism planning and developments to maximize this positive impacts while minimizing the negative impacts on the environment. So once again, I'm repeating the last, overall, you can see the multiplier effect in tourism. It demonstrates the significant economic benefits that the tourism can bring to a destination, and it improves the local market infrastructure as well as it has have a positive impact and thus reducing the negative consequences. Foreign exchange earnings, yes, tourism receipts in dollar terms has declined even when there has been an increase in tourist arrivals. The possible reason for such phenomena are the high rate of devaluation of rupees in the recent past, then rise in the proportion of the budget tourist, and existence of premium of foreign currency. So imports made for tourism development has to be considered while calculating foreign exchange earnings from tourism. Otherwise earnings will be overstated from actual figures, and out of the gross earnings, the leakages has to be subtracted to make the real figures. Now, the value of goods or services that is being rendered or imported to meet the tourism needs is termed as terminal. So that is what is very important. The value of goods or the services that is being imported, they are to meet the tourism needs and requirements, and that is being termed as leakages. Okay, and what are the factors responsible for leakages? Like foreign exchange spend on publicity or promotion or advertising or setting of tourist offices abroad. So these are the factors, one of the factors. Then entry of multinational reduces profits and taxes in host country since payments are made in tourist original countries. Then there are some commissions are also being paid to the tour operators, to foreign retailers, etc. Okay, then reduction in or exemption of duties and taxes by host countries on foreign companies. So these are the reasons for leakages. Now, what are the steps that is being adopted for minimizing leakages? In the area of substitution, in the area of import substitution through the use of local markets, restructuring the control of multinationals, and insisting that. So that is why you should restrict the control of multinationals, because there are a lot of MNCs, those are operating in our country. So what happens when these multinationals operate in the country? There are obviously, the localized, they don't get the chance. But we should always ensure that the localites are being employed. So that is what happens now. That is not also a question, that is one factor. Multinational companies are there. So once these multinational companies are there, the localites don't get the chance. The second thing is, technology has taken the place of the human manpower. They have taken the manpower's job, because nowadays most of the jobs that are being done by through computers and all, people. So you need not go or take the help of a travel agent also. If you have your, you can just go through online travel agents, make your bookings. Because if you go through a travel agent, you have to pay them a fees for that, the services, because the services that is being rented to them. But yes, if you can do that particular job on your own, then why should you take the service of a particular of a travel agent and pay him? So these are the things. So a few steps are being adopted for minimizing leakages, like restricting the control of multinationals and insisting the tourists to pay foreign currency. To insisting tourists to pay in foreign currency for the services engaged. So that also helps a lot also to avoid to minimize leakage. Then comes the social, political, and environmental. They should be reduced, and that also a very negative impact on the especially the international tourist. That you should ensure it doesn't take place. Then, like sex tourism in Asia. Sex tourism is a recent phenomena. Then, of course, there's a ESPAT is an organization that is in child prostitution in Asian tourism. It has succeeded in recent years, and Western governments, and especially the United Nations, their working groups on slavery takes a lot of steps in recent days to control it. Like even there is child labor. You will find many food outlets, and especially the tea snacks shops, which are selling teas and snacks in the roadsides. You'll find them employing the young kids. So this is what is known as child labor. So you should avoid all those. Okay. And yes, rest and recreation centers often tend to become places for sex tourism as they earn quick money by such activities. Okay. And there are massage parlors, then yoga bars, cocktail lounges, health clubs started getting more clients as they also gave way for sexual activities. They should keep a control on this. Then, sex tourism is not a factor in tourism in India, and though the symptoms have started emerging, necessary precautions must be taken to control it. So these are the environmental impacts, like tourism operations, release garbage, sewage into lakes, rivers, and beaches. So what happens when they release all oil from cruise ships, ferry boats, etc.? What are the impacts? Contamination, health hazards, destruction of aquatic plant and animal life, and also it increases toxicity in the water bodies, contaminates the seafoods and etc. So the atmosphere should be kept away from all this. And tourism operations increase in travel to destinations. When you there are a lot of increase in travel to destinations, that also what are the impacts that leads to air pollution, noise pollution, and there's adverse impact on the plant life, loss of recreational value. So that has to be taken when we talk about environmental impact on tourism. The environmental impact of tourism in India is significant, as the country's natural beauty as well as the diverse ecosystem attracts millions of visitors each year, and this can lead to increased pollution, habitat destruction, and strain on natural resources. And the development of infrastructure to support tourism, such as especially the hotels, the this impacts, sustainable tourism practices are being promoted in India, and especially this include the developments of eco-friendly like environment, then responsible travel behavior, conservation efforts to protect the natural areas and wildlife. Okay, and furthermore, like there are government, there are government organizations, government. I mean, local agents, local authorities who are implementing regulations and policies to manage the environmental impact of tourism, and especially this includes waste management initiatives. Then you have restrictions on construction in ecologically sensitive areas and efforts to promote renewable energy and water conservation. So overall, while tourism in India has a significant role to play on the environment, efforts are always being made to promote sustainable practice and uh, and initiate, you can say, like promote sustainable practices and minimize the negative effects on the environment. This is crucial to ensure natural I mean this is crucial to ensure that the long term preservation of India's natural beauty and ecological diversity for future generations. So there are a lot of impacts here, as I told you: displacement of people, traffic congestion, increased population, and of course, like monuments, wildlife, where, like like people going to watch the see the monuments and all. There's overcrowding, disfiguring, loss of preservation. Similarly, in case of wildlife, when they are visiting any wildlife sanctuaries or parks, national parks and national wildlife parks and all, there is the, the the changes in the feeding patterns of among the wildlife takes place. It also disturbs their cycle. So you should, so what why this occurs: because of unplanned tourist movements, driving off roads, then there are night drivings, then there are garbage left here and there by the tourists. These all should be avoided. Carrying capacity, yes, okay. I'll show you a video. 1 minute. I'll show a small video on that. Duffland, Denmark, Zanzami, how are you all? I hope you are not getting bored. Yes, yes or no? You know, okay. Today is the last class, so I have some videos, for you also. 1 minute, I'll show you the videos. 1 minute, 1 sec. The impact of tourism, I haven't shown it to you.
Do you know what will happen if you read one book every week? Let me share some three, four.
This is basically the impact of tourism, so you will have an idea. We are showing you that. I'm showing you that, okay? Because the discussion was long enough. In between, I wanted to show you this presentation. Here it comes. The impact of tourism. See how the garbage is thrown here and there. So that was, I wanted to show you, like, tourism is influencing, I mean, tourism is influencing millions of people every day, people's lives every day. So everybody has a role to play. You should, involve yourself so that you can make it a better and a cleaner planet to live in. Okay, so not much. Another few slides are left. 1 minute. This is basically the last chapter I was dealing with, last unit. Yes. So I was talking about the carrying capacity. I have already discussed what this carrying capacity is all about. Basically, a place has, each and every place can has that capacity to accommodate people. So you should ensure, sometimes when the carrying capacity, when the inflow of tourists to a particular destination increases, then obviously it has a very negative impact. As I told you, everybody's involvement is very much necessary to ensure to have a positive impact on the environment, on the tourism, on the environment, which would result, a positive impact on the tourism industry. So although the concept like is very simple, carrying capacity, but yes, application is complex, because the problem is making changes which occur, discovering the casual relationships between tourism factors and their effects on the environment. The thing is that, especially like weekends and all, you have, if you the place where I stay, that's in Orissa, Bhubaneswar, and just a one and a half hours drive, we have the beach. There's a beach. The place is known as Puri. It is having the uh, I mean, Puri Sea Beach, as well as pilgrimage. The Lord Jagannath temple is also there. So, you'll find on the weekend a lot of rush. So, what happened? People don't care that, oh, this is a weekend, we are having a holiday, let's go and move to the beach, have some fun, and then in the evening, we'll go to the temple, have a darshan of Lord, and come back. So this is a very casual, thought, people, but we should also ensure, when it is not able to accommodate, it would obviously, there are overcrowded, people also try to cheat. I mean, these, some, I mean, when it is because lot of vehicles are flying, so there is lot of pollution is also created. So this what happens. And especially, some of the factors you need to be considered in carrying capacities, like the climatic conditions, the topography of that place, the flora and fauna of that area, the level of economic development of the area, the sophistication of its social and political organization, the scale of tourist infrastructure development. And there are some, political implications are there. Tourism gives a lot of economic benefits. Apart from this, tourism also have certain political implications, like, lack of protection for workers in tourism, and, especially the hospitality industry, this tourism industry, you can say hospitality and tourism, it is 24 into 7 into 365 days, especially those who are working in the hotel. Sometimes at some point of time, they feel disgusted, they feel, I mean, that they are unable to keep the balance of I mean, their lifestyle becomes very imbalanced. So leave the hotel industry and they join some other industries. So this is what happens because you are unable to protect the workers, and there are other various factors also. And of course priority is to be given to external assistance, investments and imports that utilize local available resources. Okay, now you should remember plan and projects should not be evolved secretly. Efforts of local groups in obtaining information should not be shunned. Locals must be encouraged that they should be encouraged to participate in tourism decision making process. This was also explained earlier also. They should also be involved in tourism decision making process, and local sentiment should not be ignored or else they may end up in agitation. So these are some threats and obstacles to tourism. Threats and obstacles may not remain constant, and they may change from time to time, making it a challenging task for the stakeholders. So, to solve it easily, like there are a lot of competition, but first thing is you should protect the environment, and especially social cultural degradation takes place due to mass tourism. Competition is there, you want your destination to be better than other destinations. So sometimes social cultural degradation also takes place due to mass tourism. So you have to ensure all this, that it should be controlled, it should be properly balanced. And there are lack of diversification in tourism products, and especially there are infrastructure which are not properly developed, that may also result in you know having a negative impact on the tourism industry. So much care has to be adopted to remove such threats and obstacles at the earliest to reap benefits to tourism. Like we have this uh, threats like COVID-19 pandemic, but now it has revived. Then there are sometimes strikes in the hotels or airlines. Then there are terrorism activities, there are communal rights. Then cancellation is widely observed immediately after such activity. So what happens as a result? There's a loss of business in tourism industry, and people are engaged in informal sector of tourism. I mean, people engaged in informal sector of tourism are the major sufferers in case of any such activities. And there are crimes like molestation, cheating, theft brings bad name to the destination. These all occurs. So inflow of both domestic as well as foreign tourists are affected because of such activities. Okay. So yes, there should be trained manpower and awareness has to be there. Lack of awareness about tourism among common people, it is there. Should this awareness should be there, which is very important. Sensitization. Resources should be properly utilized. Sometimes we ignore the domestic tourists. We take more care about the international. That should also be avoided. Motivation, it varies from individual to individual. Sometimes it becomes difficult to understand and depend upon various factors which are difficult to deal in general. So preferences, so process of making choice through a selection of real or imagined possibilities, and visiting friends, relatives, explorations, evaluation of yourself, fantasy, prestige. If all they can be combined together, then they can be used to remove the threats and obstacles that takes place in tourism industry. Okay, positive attitude, behavior should be good enough, and that should be tourism decides the future behavior of both tourists as well as the local residents. And when enough wealth is generated does not reach back the local resident, they become hostile for further development of tourism. This has been discussed in depth. If the local residents are not being properly taken care of, then obviously they get hostile. And once they are hostile, then there would be no development of tourism in that particular area. So some constraints of tourism growth: economic, social, political differences in following affects tourism growth, financial resources, human resources, that is the manpower, then institutional cultures, managerial cultures, priority to tourism, implementation and design machinery. Okay. The special threats to be adopted. The threats and obstacle models in tourism development should address to the dual problem: preserve as you develop, and tourism must be used to generate profits in long term rather than in short term. This is very important. You should always remember that tourism must be used to generate profits in long term rather than in short term. So that was nice, thank you all for your kind attention. But before I move, I would like to show you a video, and you should always remember, this is my family, my daughter, my husband. We went to native, so on the way, we were returning. So, that's like ecotourism spot I found. So, the deepest desire of human nature is to explore and discover. And the travel and tourism industry is just a huge part of the economy. And waking up in India is like waking up to life itself. And yes, one cannot resist the lure of Africa. That was being said by Rudyard Kipling. Okay, it's always nice to have an interaction with you all. So I have a small video for you, another small video for you all. I have two videos, okay? Just 2 minutes. I wanted to show you that video. Before you leave the session, I wanted to show you that video. So just wait for another 5 minutes. The toxic tourism. Here it goes. So that was the slide I wanted to show you all. So, Daphlin, one more slide I have for you all. That's about India. So, just be there. I wanted to show you the slide. Okay, 1 minute. I wanted to show you the video. Just be there. 1 minute. One more video. That's from India. Welcome to India. Next time when you plan, you should visit these places about India. Small video. It's about 2 minutes.
Microsoft of the office worker. Yes, it's true. ChatGPT.
Mm, I wanted to show you this video. Okay. Yes. This is only 3 minutes. Hello.
My name is Abhilash.
So that was all from Deflin. I hope you enjoyed the video that was about India. So whenever you come to India, you are most welcome to keep it in your bucket list, all the sites that were being shown. And once again, I thank all of you, as well as I thank IGNO for giving me this opportunity to interact with you all, to take your classes. And thank you, learners. And thank you. I also thank IGNOU Bhubaneswar Regional Center, especially Santosh sir, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, Dafland. Okay, take care. Have a good day.
Same to you.